that you don't have to log out, but I understand that crisis happens. So I'm sending you strength and good wishes, Nancy. Taylor, K through 5, elementary school. Woohoo! We speak the same language. Kathy in Northport High School. Kathy, did you go to the Whiska event? We just had a lot of Northport people in the Whiska holiday happenings. Hi, Marianne in high school. Elizabeth in Catskill. Hello, Lenore.
We were at the Whiska, by the way.
You were at Whiska.
Yeah, we were. Marianne and Kathy and I, we were there Monday. It was great.
Okay.
Fun. Thank you.
The Northport table sure did win a lot of stuff. You guys had the 3980. You had all those numbers. Welcome, Erin Bell from Waverly Middle School. East Hampton High School. Hi, Marilyn. Jennifer Jimenez in Freeport. Loving to see everyone. How many people we have so far, Dr. Rotunda?
32.
That's awesome. What a nice number. I'm happy.
So they're still clicking in.
They're still coming? That's awesome.
Yeah,
I embrace this technology for us to be able to meet and come together. Oh, I see Linda's name over there. So I'm welcoming everybody. Welcome. And chat your name, chat your position, so we can connect with one another.
Where are you from?
There you go. Where are you from? Joan Prevost, Wayne Central School Counselor. OHM Bosies. Welcome, Laura.
Joan might know Beth Peters.
Oh, yeah? Joan, do you know Beth Peters?
Yep,
Gabby Patterson, school counseling program at LIU. Way to go. And she does know Beth. That's great. Matt Sweeney in Scarsdale. Welcome. Lenore from Northport High School. I guess we're all like NISCA, WISCA. All of our associations are great. Hi, Holly. I should have sat down and just chit-chatted with Northport at the Whiska event. That would have been a lot of fun. Hey, Holly. Welcome, and thanks for coming tonight. Hey, Dominic. Cajanio Cardinal Spellman High School, teacher and volunteer counselor, New York State certified counselor. Awesome. Is someone shouting out? I see a lot of people. Hey guys, we're just saying welcome to everyone. Counseling teacher assistant and counseling intern, Jennifer, welcome. Lauren, welcome. School counselor.
Comac.
I'm seeing yeah, that's awesome. Oh, Comac Middle School. Linda, welcome. Hey, Jennifer Ford, 6 through 8 counselor. Woohoo! Linda, welcome, Linda.
From all over the state. That's cool.
I know. I love this. Substitute teacher and counseling intern. Good for you. Hello, parent coordinator. Hey, Sasha. Is it
Tom,
Yasmin?
how you doing?
Yasmin? I'm hoping I'm saying your name right. Tom. Tom from Auburn. We have Lauren. A Herkimer Bosse's elementary counselor. Love Herkimer because it's just fun to say. Hillside Children's Center counselor. Oh, I would love to learn more about that. Michelle Sullivan, middle school counselor, Queensbury Middle School. Queensbury, I visited there once and everybody was so, so nice in Queensbury itself. Sherburne, Earlsville, 6 through 8 counselor and CSE chair. Wow, that's a lot on your plate. Jennifer Ford, I'm going to be shouting out to you because if you're doing two things, 6 through 8 counselor and 6 through 12 CSE chair, that's a lot. Whew. I'm breathing in deep for you, Jennifer.
I think you could probably start.
All right, that's awesome. I'll stop my music. My music always makes me feel so happy and peaceful and good. All right, I'm going to keep my close my chat. I'll keep an eye on my chat. So I just wanted to say to everyone, welcome. Hi, everyone. I am Lisa Milady. I'm an elementary school counselor for at Dolphin Gardens, East Elementary, and I've been there for 31 years. This is my 31st year. And when I was first approached to talk about counselor self-care, I thought, is this something I know anything about that I could speak to? And I thought to myself, well, I'm 31 years in, and to me, 31 years, and I'm still excited every day. And I'm still happy to go to school, and I'm still doing a lot of fun stuff. And so I thought, yeah, maybe I do have something I can talk about. So welcome. I'm going to just start. We all know Carol Dweck and her mindsets. And as I reflected on how I have taken care of myself and my approach to self-care through the years, it goes back to the thoughts I tell myself and the words that go through my mind. I love this. I love the idea of the growth mindset. When you have a growth mindset, you believe in your abilities you're born with are a starting point, and you get smarter and you grow with hard work, persistence, and the right learning strategies. So when I talk about 10 different mindsets today, I see them as learning strategies. Learning how to take care of yourself. The thoughts we think will help us to feel confident and strong and believe in our abilities to do the best we can. I think everybody here today is not wanting to buy some kind of magic program that'll say, hey, you'll never feel stressed, because we work in a stressful area. So it's important for us to really think about ourselves and where we are in the process of counseling as we are school counselors. So here's an overview of the 10 things I'm going to talk about. Accepting your choices, fighting invisible tigers, finding your spirituality, take what works, leave the rest behind. You only need strength for a day. Use structure to streamline, scaffold with I can, run your own race, join forces with like minds, and be true to you. So I've given you the whole program. So if you want, you can take a nap, but I'm going to talk about each one. So the very first thing I want to talk about today is accepting your own choices. You are responsible for your own happiness. You are not responsible for anyone else's happiness, and no one else is responsible for yours. As we are counselors, we don't make people's lives better. We have a special skill where we can give people thoughts and direction, and it's truly up to them. And as we are allowing people to have their own journeys, we really have to take responsibility for our very own. I get a little grumpy when it comes to people who are saying, oh, if only my principal this, and if only that. There are a lot of people who live their lives complaining and being angry at the world. And I find that that's a dead end. Anger is just a dead end. When you breathe deep and accept your choices, then you have strength that is coming from within you. Strength comes from knowing each action you take belongs to you. What you think, what you feel, and what you do is yours. When you feel sorry for your situation, that will happen. That's a feeling. I'm a counselor. I'm not going to tell you not to feel anything. But if you are feeling sad about your situation, it's important to look at the feeling and where you can work that feeling through. I love the analogy of things that annoy us are like sandpaper, and we have rough edges. And whenever you are faced with a situation where things are just not rubbing you right, it's your responsibility to take the time to look at what is happening around you, and that annoyance or anger or a wish that things could be different, that's the sandpaper that helps you to decide the choices that you have to accept, the choices you made and what you can do to make it better for yourself. I was a working mom and I had little kids and I worked the whole time and I would get frustrated. I don't have enough help. I don't have enough time. And I would spend a lot of energy in the wheel of I can't. Then one day I put on my big girl pants and I said, okay, what can I do to make this choice work for me? And once I accepted that challenge, the energy that I was using, having pity for the situation, turned into energy I could use to be stronger within the situation. So the very first thing, accept where you are. You're working where you are. It was your choice. You're doing a job that you're doing. It was your choice. Put on your pants, start the day, and we'll keep working through our mindsets. So there's 2 shout outs. And a shout out means, shine and shout means go off mute and say, okay, I'm ready to own something. I choose to. And I would love to hear anybody own a choice that they're making. I choose to not retire. That's mine. So whenever I get really tired or frustrated, I go, okay, it's your choice. You're still working and you're still committed to the kids in your program. Anybody? I see a lot of people out there. I see some people smiling. All right. What we'll do is I'm going to sit back and I'm just going to talk and reflect. And I hope if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat. Okay. All right. So the next one I want to talk about, oh, I love it. I want to thank Cheryl Hubert. I choose to let other people help me. Oh, and I love that. And Cheryl, I thank you for that because that is going to be part of my talk. Thank you, Cheryl. Next time, be brave. Shout out. All right. The second mindset I want to talk about is we fight invisible tigers. We are human. There is a biology to what we do. We know invisible tigers means that back in the day when there were cavemen and the cavemen saw a tiger coming at them, that they either had to fight or flight. They flee. You had to move away from the tigers to be safe. And that adrenaline that went through the caveman's body still goes through ours. Yet we're not running and we don't see the tigers. The tigers are invisible. We have that stress and those chemicals are within our bodies. And if we don't take care of those stress hormones and chemicals, then we are not going to be able to function optimally. So we have to accept the biology of stress. And in that, be respectful of your body as your house. Move, meditate, eat well, hydrate. These are the important parts for the physiological part of stress and counselor self-care. And then we have the biology of the spirit. As we are going through our days, it's so important to practice your affirmations, to speak to your vision, talk to people who speak the like language. I think to one of the elementary counselors, I said, hey, we talk the same language. It means that we understand each other's journey. So you have to have a partner who supports you and supports where you want to go and what you're going through. Seek and accept support. And that's exactly what my friend said in their comment. And accept the unknown journey. When I get up every day, I don't know exactly what's going to happen. I have a plan, but we all know how plans work out. But I don't know what's going to happen. And I have my journey and other people have theirs. And part of my own counselor stress is to accept that when I have an interaction with anyone, I'm not responsible for that person's happiness. I'm not responsible for that person's journey. I indeed enjoy people and I love to talk to people. But if there comes a point where I get angry, upset over something they're doing or something they said or they're doing that doesn't agree with me, then that's a tactful point where I have to separate myself from their journey. We work with all different kinds of people, and later I'm going to talk about how to deal with those grumpy people, because we have them too. Number 3, find your own spirituality. I say this and I believe this all the time. We swim in deep waters. And I am not saying that anybody has to attend church or a synagogue or a temple or a mosque. You do not have to join a religion, but you have to have an understanding that there are awful and horrible things that happen to people. And especially this year during COVID, I am seeing awful and horrible things happening to children. And the children went through such terrible things during lockdown, and the after effects, like ripple in water, the after effects are just really starting to come up to the surface. And children are devastated, and families are devastated, and parents are devastated. And I have to sit back and say, there's bad things that happen. And at night, when I go to bed, I can't get stuck on the anger toward the person who is perpetrating harm to the other person. It happens. And I have to be able to find an understanding in my mind. And so my spirituality is, we are all on our own journey. And my spirituality is, I will speak to anyone who will listen. It's important to talk it out and to find people who support you. And what a wonderful thing there are helping people out there. And I believe there's more helping people out there than people who are hurting others. And when there are tragedies, it is an opportunity for people to shine and help. And so when the world rocks and there are awful things that happen, I look for the helping people. I look for opportunities to help. And I want to always separate the victim's journey from the perpetrators. And then I also want to have a feeling that someone did something wrong to another person to hurt another person in this world. So I have developed my own spirituality, and we all have to take time to think about how we understand the universe and how the universe impacts what we do. Because we can't fix the bad things that happen. I always tell the kids, I can't have a magic wand that's going to make and fix things. I can't make mommy and daddy stop fighting, but I can listen to how you feel, and I can share how you feel, and I can maybe teach some strategies, but we have to work at this. So my spirituality is, I believe in the goodness of people, and I don't give up. It's not the stress that kills us, it's our reaction to it. Being in a position where at any moment a student can walk into our office and either someone harmed them or they feel that they want to harm themselves, that's stressful. Our heart rates will go up. It's important to breathe. And so we have to have good things in place to keep going and doing this day after day after day. So find your spirituality. Now, in the day-to-day world that we live, it's important to take what works and leave the rest behind. Work smart and not hard. And sometimes even the smallest change in what you do can free up time for you to do something else. Remember, we all start the day with a certain amount of energy, and we want to use that energy in the most efficient way possible. So it's important to reflect and look at what we're doing, our practices throughout the day. Not just our practices at home, our practices at home, in the car, at school, whatever we're doing. So what you have to do is always reflect. I talked about this in the beginning, feeling jammed up. There's something that's not feeling right. I've got sandpaper on my rough edges. This is not working for me right now, and I have to do something else. So identify what it is that's jamming you up, and then watch. Open your eyes. I learned so much by watching people doing what I wish I could do, and then taking notes, mental notes, and saying, hey, I think I can do this. Develop a plan in my own mind, create a vision. And then we have to let go. Sometimes we need to do something in a different way to open up your heart and minds. Change up your day sometime. Sometimes purposely, instead of going down Sunrise Highway, I'll go down to Main Street and go through Babylon just to look at the windows and just so I can reflect and say, hey, how's my drive to school going? How's the traffic pattern? I'm always changing it up to look to find different ways. So you have to look at what you're doing, your process of your day, keep the things that are working, and then figure out a plan for the rest. Another reflection is that you only need strength for this day we're in. Thank goodness there's a sunrise and a sunset every day. And when I get up in the morning, I will say some gratitude and I begin my day. And I know that I will come back to my bed. And no matter in between, sometimes it's longer, sometimes it's shorter, but I only need to get through this day. And when I'm working with kids and when I'm in school, whoever I'm with, at home, with family, whatever moment I'm in, right now, I'm in a moment with you. And I want to be fully here. I don't have my cell phone. I don't have anything else going on. I do have a notepad in case anybody has a question. But when you abandon worries for everything else, and I am sitting and doing the best I can in this moment, knowing you'll move on to the next, then this moment I'm in, I'm taking care of fully. When I have a student in front of me and they're worried and they're upset, I'm not thinking about who I have to see. I'm not thinking about what I'm cooking for dinner, because in this moment, I'm with this child and I want to make sure I'm doing exactly what I need to do. So I don't have to go then be with another person and say, did I handle that right? Did I do everything in that moment? Because if you're thinking about what you did or what you have to do, you're losing right now. And the only moment that really counts is right now. So practice being in the moment wherever you are. Sometimes when you're at home, you're worried about school. Sometimes when you're at school, you're worried about home. And I have learned to say, home is home and school is school. And I used to have a transition in between both worlds where I would drive home and on my visor, I had a little prayer. I saw it in like Dear Abby a million years ago. And it just helped me to focus on my family and my children. I am now no longer a counselor. I am now a mother. And it helped me to say goodbye, hello, and that separation of being where you were and being who you were with took away some stress. And I knew that the next moment when I was at school, I'd give them all my heart. And I knew when I was with my kids, I'd give them all my heart. And that helped me have less stress. Another mindset is to use structure to streamline your life. Routine is your very, very best friend. Good habits will pave the road. Time is your most valuable commodity. I will tell you this. If somebody said, Lisa, I will give you $1 million, well, maybe not $1 million. Okay, I'll give you $1 million, or I'd give you an extra hour in the day for my life. Like, people say, win lotto for life, win $1,000 for life. I think I'd rather have an extra hour in the day. Think of how much you could do in an hour in a day. Time is precious. Time is what you have to give, to use. To me, in my mind, there's no such thing as wasted time. If I choose in that moment that I'm going to sit back and watch TV and my fluffy slippers with my dog on my lap, that's my choice. That's what I'm choosing to do. I'm not going to feel guilty about the work I have to do because I know I'll get to the work because I have routines to get there. Time spent in preparation yields interest. And I once said this before in a round table to elementary counselors. Never, ever, ever walk in Monday without a plan and a lesson in place. Even if it's one lesson in your bag that you can carry from school to school to school to school. That time that you took on the weekend, yes, that's your time, but that time that you took on the weekend to create that lesson, will make the days earlier, because as chaos happens and you have to go see a mandated counseling group, you don't have time to figure it out. It's in your bag. And every time you create a lesson, then you have a lesson in your room that if something happens, you can pull out that great lesson and present it. Because I don't want to be stressed about my mandated counseling kids. I want to be able to be a quality counselor while handling and juggling the chaos for the day. So time spent in preparation will make your day better. Focus on the black hole and make a plan. Again, I'm going back to the sandpaper. Where are you getting jammed up? Where are you falling apart in your school day? Where are you falling apart in your life? Where are you falling apart at home? Is it the dishes? Is it making your bed? What can you give up? So when you focus on where you're at and where you want to be and make your plan, then that will help you relieve your stress. And when you've mastered something, move on to another. My favorite thing is I really needed to drink more water. I wasn't drinking enough water, and I thought, how am I going to really get this in my life? I have time at home before school. I have time in school. I have a water bottle sitting on my desk, and I never drink it because I'm always talking. I'm always moving from one place to the other. I'm afraid to leave it open. It's going to spill on my computer. I don't want to be glugging water when I'm talking to people. I had a lot of mental stuff about how I can't drink water. And then I thought, aha, I have a 40-minute commute. And I invested in big recyclable bottles because I don't want to waste water. And I bought 4 of them. And I can drink 2 going to school, and I can drink 2 coming home. And every morning I fill my water bottles. Believe me, talk about finding the black hole. So I tried these water bottles, and I'm drinking them, and they're spilling, and I'm going to school with wet clothes. Okay, good. Now we got to change it up a little bit. I bought a big straw, put the straw in the water bottle. Life is good. It takes 4 days of doing something before your brain will say, hey, I remember that. This works. Only 4 days. So be that person that puts things in place when you want to start a healthy habit. If you want to run in the morning, take your clothes, put them out, put your sneakers by the door. If you wake up and have to find your running clothes and your sneakers, you're not going to run because you don't have enough time. But if you want to dedicate yourself to that, put your things out the night before. If you want to go to gym after school, put your gym bag in your car. Little habits and little changes that you want to put in place to be healthy, you have to work at those habits. And when you include them in the routine of your day, you will feel like, how did I ever live my life without it? So look for those things. Meditate with friends. Last year, when we returned from COVID, I shouted out to my early morning people, and I said, who wants to meditate for 5 minutes? And they're like, we don't know how to meditate. I said, I don't either, but let's come in and we'll listen to music. We sat in a circle. I put on music. I set a timer for 5 minutes, and we meditated. And it was a meeting and a communal experience that helped us all get through those stressful times. Put things in place. You can try all kinds of things. And when you find where you're jammed up, when you understand where you want things to do differently, you want to do things differently, you have to scaffold with I can. I put here, some days you can move a mountain, and some days you can remove just a pebble from your shoe. I was journaling the other day, and I put, some days I tread water and some days I swim. And it seems that there is always an ebb and flow of the job that we do. Some days, like smooth sailing, woohoo, everything is great today. And some days it's as if you're just walking into closed doors all day long. When you are going through that, remember, you only need to get through one day. You only need strength for the one day. And when you tell yourself you can do things, it helps yourself to believe it. I can is the most powerful thing. Every day, focus on the most important task and get it done. If you write down one thing that needs to get done every day and you do one thing a day, then congratulate yourself. Then there's always secondary things we do. Life would be great if I got this done, and you write 2 or 3 of those. And then additional things, if it is a wonderful day, if it's a move a mountain day, then you write down those additional tasks. And do not beat yourself up if you can't get to the additional tasks. Tomorrow's another day. As long as you focus on that one most important task of the day and you get that done, you can put your head down on the pillow and say, I did that. Tomorrow's another day. So that is a way to keep yourself feeling productive. And when you feel productive, you're going to feel less stressed. One of the things that we fight is counseling is an endless wheel. The work we do is not measured in units. It's not like teachers that give a test and they teach a lesson and they give a test and then they go, oh, some people mastered, some people didn't. I'll reteach. We don't have measurement for what we do. We can collect data. We can collect how many kids we saw. We can look at attendance records. But there's so much that we do in a day that can't be measured. Growth of the human spirit does not have a measured course. When we're working with students and we are working on, even on IEP goals or trying to help them engage in education, everybody's path is different, including our students, and we can't measure the human spirit. But we have to believe that what we're doing makes a difference. And we have to believe that I can help. And so you have to stay on that helping path. And everybody, there has to be triumph in every day. So look for the miracles. To me, a miracle isn't getting $1 million. A miracle is a change in perception. Today, one of the grumpiest kids that I ever worked with, oh dear, I had tried over a year to really feel connected to this kid. I said something in passing, and he said, oh, you're just being kind like you are every day. And this was from one of my grumpy kids. And I was like, yes, go get yourself a prize, just because I'm so excited. I felt like it was such a breakthrough. And, but also recognize the quick rewards. Sometimes I think to myself, oh my gosh, I got to get in touch with this parent. And I'm walking down the hallway and there is the parent standing there. And I have to go, thank you. That was wonderful. When things happen that are so great, you have to say, woohoo, chalk that up for a triumph of the day. And always, always, always keep your eye on the horizon, meaning that we move forward. It is so important when you're treading water and not swimming, when you've got that pebble in your shoe, to really take a deep breath and know you make a difference. Put that in the front part of your mind. Remember, we work, this in the back of your head is where our autonomic nerves, our autonomic brain is, and that's where your stress is, your reflexes. We need to breathe to our thinking brains. And when we're in our thinking brains, we believe that we can make a difference, and we know we can make a difference. All right, last time I did this, I didn't have a lot of success. But let's use words to lift ourselves up. Finish this sentence. I can. I would love for somebody to shout out, but I'm checking the chat box too. Boundaries are so important. Oh, I know your boundaries. Oh, I love this. People are talking and I'm too busy talking. I love crossing stuff off my to-do list. Then I feel done. Oh, thanks, Dr. Rotunda. And yes, do-over days. I can be good enough. Thanks, Matt. So I can do over days. I love that. Elizabeth Daly, can you shout out about your thoughts about do-over days? You can make a change.
I was just thinking when you were talking about, you have those good days and bad days. I don't know how many times on bad days I'll say, I need a do-over. Like, can I just start the day over again? Maybe but it is all about your mental status and how you choose to compartmentalize or whatever you want to call it, spirituality, whatever you want to call it. Just recognize that, and I say that to my kids. I have bad days too. Like, not every day is a good day.
Yeah, I love that. I can have a do-over day, and tomorrow's another day. And I would never like to use the words good, bad, better, best. They are. I use words like peaceful and painful and jammed up and productive, because I don't like to quantify things, because there are so many different variables in a day. What we do is just not a science that's true to black and white. We have to understand we live in a world where our thoughts and our energies make such a difference. I choose to volunteer my time and not pity that I did not find a counseling job. Oh, Dominic, I wish you will. Yet, I will help those students that need me now. Dominic, I love that you're embracing where you're at. And every road that you're on, every experience that you have, when you look back, you're like, hey, that happened way back then, but I'm pulling it out to my future today. I love that. Know your boundaries. I choose to continue working this year. My students are seniors. I want to see them graduate. I love this. Time is precious. All right, I'm going down. I can avoid being affected by toxic people. Janice, thank you so much. Everybody is coming up with such good thoughts. And I'm going to talk about the toxic people in just in another slide. Thank you for all of your I cans. I love that. All right, here we are at number 8. Run your own race and let everyone else run theirs. What kills us a lot is comparing ourselves to people. Everyone has their own journey. Forgo the judgment of others, and even the judgment of others who are meeting with greater success. I love how Dominic shouted out, I'm upset I didn't get a job, but I am here where I am. And probably, Dominic, a lot of people that did get a job. And there is a time, our hearts break. Why not me? Why not now? And it's important in our journey, in our life, to plant seeds and instill hope within ourselves, that when we have our eye on the horizon, we can get there. We run our own races. I went to maybe some people were talking, I went to a holiday happening on Monday, and I sat down. I was a little bit late because I had champ camp, but I got there, they saved me a seat. I was so happy. Hey, everybody, how's everybody? And one of the counselors said, Lisa, I just don't know how you're always so positive. I don't get it. And I said, it is something that I work at. It is something that I put a lot of energy and effort into, living my life glass half filled, and I kind of left it at that. I do take time. I do a lot of stuff. Running, journal entering, reflecting with friends, yoga. I do a lot of the things that people recommended. And as I started and added more and more, I continue to find more inner peace. I look at people, and when somebody is having a journey that I admire, I look and see, how did they get there? Not what am I doing wrong, or why not me? Accept your own journey and know that everything you're doing today will matter for tomorrow and in the future. Oh, I love this. Okay, everybody, we got time for this, right? Oh yeah, we got plenty of time. Are you ready? This is gonna make everybody feel so good.
A.D. Williams once said, imagine what 7 billion humans could accomplish if we loved and respected one another. Just imagine. Imagine if there was no greed. Imagine if there was no comparison. If everyone was running their own race, but cheering for all others at the same time. Maybe we'll never see that in our lifetime. But what we all can do is start with ourselves. Start with yourself. Choose to lift others up. Choose to set the example of kindness and integrity, the example of compassion and understanding. There's a quote that says, no matter how educated, talented, rich, or cool you believe you are, how you treat people ultimately tells all. Integrity is everything. It really is. Who you are is far more important than what you have, and it will always be. Who you are is measured by how you make others feel. Be kind to each other. In a world where you can be anything, be kind. Choose to be the change you wish to see in the world. Decide you will not wait for someone else. You will set the example. Be kind. Because you never know how much that person is suffering inside. You never know the difference your words can make, the difference your presence can make, the difference you can make to one human life. Be the reason someone believes in the goodness of humanity. Be the reason someone else decides to make a difference in others. Be the influence you want to see more of. Always do what is right, not what is easy in the moment. Kindness spreads like a virus. When you do good to another, that person does better to those they come in contact with. You really can make a big difference in the world today and every other day. Anne Frank said, in the long run, the sharpest weapon of all is a kind and gentle spirit. No one has ever made themselves great by showing how small another is. Be kind and always build others up to the best of your ability. Treat everyone with the same level of kindness that you would like for yourself. Not because everyone is nice, but because you are. Because karma makes no mistakes. Because it is right. Because you have integrity. Because you want this world to be better when you leave than when you arrive.
Oh, now I lost my presentation. Didn't you love that? I feel like we all have to go, let's go! Here we go! We're going to do this! So much of that resonates with me in terms of the kindness you want to see in the world. And I lost my whole presentation. Did everybody like that while I find my presentation? I think as counselors, we may sometimes lose track of the little moments that matter. And when you are feeling stressed and there's so much that's going on, it's hard sometimes to remember it's the little tiny things that count. The kind smile, the warm embrace. I tell you what, I hug my kids. They need it. And here we go. Are we back in business? There we go. I hope you've loved that video. It just inspires me. I want to talk another tip about stress release. I have a playlist that's called Morning. And when I'm getting ready in the morning and I'm doing my hair and picking out my outfit, I play all of these songs. And they are songs that I pick for me. And they remind me that they're just great songs. Some recent, Lady Gaga, some Simon and Garfunkel, some Cat Stevens, some Harry Styles, any song that makes me feel good about the world, makes me feel good about my spirituality, that we can all get through things, that we all hurt and we all feel better. It just helps me every day. In my mind, it means I'm getting ready for this fight for the day. And I'm not saying a fight for the day. Every day when I walk into school and I'm walking down that hallway, I say to myself, I've got this. I'm going to do this. And it's my way to pep talk, put my mind where it needs to be, and that I can make a difference in today. So number 9, we're almost to the end. Join forces with like minds. Together we rise. Speak the truth of your work to those who share your journey. When we talk about the struggle, we open up ourselves to 2 things. 1, we discover a new light in our own words. And 2, we are given a new way to go. Either way, it begins with being with someone who is walking alongside you. It is so important to share your frustrations, not just with counseling, we all live big lives outside of school, and we all have a lot of things that are happening. And when we have a team, when we have people around us who share the same vision, who want to do well, it helps us see ourselves more clearly and see our efforts more clearly. And when you are feeling like a failure, and when you are feeling those sandpaper feelings where your edges are rough and you're becoming smooth, when you're going through that, to have someone look you in the face and say, hey, tomorrow's another day. You're doing great. You're doing the best you can in a hard situation. Even someone who can validate, that was the worst thing that I've ever seen happen. People lift each other's up. So you need to have a team around you. I can't tell you how wonderful I feel when I am with my NISCA friends, or when I'm with my WISCA friends, when I'm with my counseling friends. We work in offices with other people, but sometimes elementary counselors, we're all by ourselves. And sometimes you're traveling and traveling and traveling and traveling. It's important to have somewhere, somehow, who can share your journey, share your thoughts, and also that you are brave enough to open up to. You cannot do this on your own. You must share where you're frustrated, and you need to share your triumphs of the day. It helps balance out everything that we are doing. You need a team. We do this together. My new assistant principal always says, teamwork makes the dream work, and it really makes a difference. All right, I talked about this before. A little advice for dealing with the grumpy. We all know who the grumpy people are. We are also very polite as counselors. We're taught to listen as counselors. We have a different role than teachers. We're not administrators. So there's a lot of people who come at counselors. Da, 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 da. Can't you do this? Why don't you do this? You know this kid, fix them. This has to be done. I received an email 2 days ago that said, what is your thoughts on a thief in my room? How should I proceed? Things are starting to disappear. And I thought, bum, bum, grumpy, grumpy, grumpy. All right, Lisa, you got to handle this. So I sent back an initial email that said, to me, it seems more like opportunities and impulsivity. So perhaps somebody's trying to fill a need and being impulsive at the same time. I'll stop down and I'll help you out. And the teacher was sweet. She's like, you're so good. You always see the positive things in people. I'm like, okay, that's good. So I went down and did a fun lesson and got a message across. So I helped out. But I don't ever want to agree with somebody who is taking a stance of negativity against children. We are the gatekeepers and advocates for kids that don't have a voice. And when I say kids, I don't mean elementary kids. I mean high school kids, whatever age you're working with. They are not adults. And I don't think, they're adults until their late 20s, but they still need caring for. So whenever someone is in your face, do not shake your head and go like this if you don't agree. Yes, we can say, I hear you. I hear what you're saying. You can acknowledge the frustration and offer to help them. But don't agree. Say, yeah, right? Isn't that the worst? If you don't agree with something and it's against your grain, then you need to find your voice to speak up in a very delicate way. But if you walk away and someone put their toxic thoughts inside of you, then you have to go through all your own ickiness to get rid of that. So in the moment, you have to find your voice. Don't agree if you don't. And if you just stand there and say nothing, silence is still a nonverbal agreement. You're going to walk away with the yucky, toxic stuff if you just stand there and go, oh, okay, nope. So when and how do you find your voice? for me, I fall back on what I've learned in textbooks. And sometimes you don't even have to share what you believe. I remember somebody said, "Hey, did you know such and such is true?" And I was like, "Oh, that can't be true." And I'm not going to argue, but what I said was, that's an interesting thing. I haven't read anything to support that theory, but I will certainly go and look things up, and we can circle back to it if you want. In other words, I hear what you're saying. I don't agree. I'm not going to be disrespectful. I'm not going to call you crazy, even though I'm thinking you're crazy. I'm going to say, yeah, that's not something I have any knowledge about. And so I don't have that piece of evidence that you're speaking to, but I'd be happy to go look for it and we can talk about it another time. Done. I didn't agree. I wasn't silent. I just used, I don't have information to agree with you. I'm going to agree to disagree. And if you can say to someone who's hot-headed, at this point, I don't agree. And when a teacher is coming at you, remember it's not you. It's their frustration. And when you speak to the feeling, I hear this is hard for you. I understand. I hear it sounds like you're having a lot of difficulty. And then as the counselor, at that point when we acknowledge it, we can offer to help. There are a lot of people that say a lot of hurtful things about kids. And I do flip it. You're going to call kids a thief. I'm going to say it's an opportunity for impulsivity. I have a whole list of ways I can say things because I want to be a positive voice at all times. That is my bar. Remember in that big video, they said, set yourself with a challenge. My challenge is to spread understanding, to spread awareness, and to be an advocate for kids. And when someone's being grumpy, that's not the time to back down. That's the time to find your voice. And the last one we're going to talk about today is be true to you. Use your gifts. We are all born with special things within us. I will never, and I could never be a basketball player. I'm a small person, I'm tiny, but I do enjoy a game and I could always try my best. But I do have other gifts that I can use. I love to sing. I sing to my students every day. So celebrate who you are in each day. Don't be ashamed to share your joy and what you enjoy to do with everyone around you. Love what you have done. Be proud of yourself and know that you are in a journey and there is more to come. Remember, we're in the moment for right now, but we keep an eye on the horizon. And if in this day you take care of what you have to do, then you can add more the next day. And it's just a journey where we start little and get bigger and bigger and bigger. And be true to who you are. Find your gifts and use your gifts. All right. Those were my 10 Milady mindsets. Woohoo! Does anybody have any questions or feedbacks? Oh, I love that. Leslie said, to thine own self be true. I love that. Oh, I know, Linda, people do forget that high school students are still children, and they are. Hey, Ray, the team is so powerful and uplifting. Helpful is to have the networking. I would love for somebody to, oh gosh, not yet. I would love for someone to shout out and say, hey, I loved this part. Unless, I don't know, Dr. Rotunda, people are quiet today. They are chatting in the messages, though.
I was wondering if anybody had a mindset that works for them, that they've used. Like I go back. One of the things that I learned early on in my career was you got to listen to the kids. The kids know what's going on. I had a seventh grader. His name was Jimmy, and I think I was in my first year, and I was having a bad day, and I was probably grumping around the hallways. And he comes up to me and he goes, "Hey, Mr. Rotunda, you better get it together. You got a middle school to run here." and he just got me laughing, and that was the end of it. Because he's probably running some corporation these days, but that was just his 7th grade way of saying, get your act together. But it was kind of cool. Listen to the kids.
Yeah. And I love that too, that you were an approachable person, that kid felt safe enough to you to say, hey, get your act together. I love that. That is a good question. Does anybody want to share their mindset or a thought that gets them through the day? How do you get through the day? Lisa put in, she needed a do-over day yourself. I'm thankful for the team and colleagues. I think the teamwork generated. You can even put in the chat, did anything resonate with you? Yeah, Cheryl put in, the kids are her favorite part of the position. I love the kids. I laugh out loud all the time, knowing that I might be the student's safe person. I love that, Mandy. Oh, Joe Jankowski, JJ, just keep swimming. I tell myself that all the time. And when I can't swim, I tread water. And when it's really bad, I float. And Sinaida remembers, tomorrow's another day. I love that. I have a quote on my desk that says, give yourself grace. You're doing the best you can. Oh, Kimberly, that's wonderful. Hey, people, did you like this? Did you learn anything?
Yes, a lot.
Oh, thank you, Sinaida. Anybody else? Make yourself laugh. Yes, another great job. Oh, thank you, Janice. Oh, good. All right, Dr. Rotunda.
Okay. Thank you, Lisa.
Oh, you're welcome.
Was looking forward to this, and I'm glad it came off tonight.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, if you attended this webinar this evening, you'll get a certificate of attendance tomorrow with a link to the recording and a link to the PowerPoint, as well as a link to the chats. It seems like a link to the chats has always been a popular thing to do. So I'll do that tomorrow. We don't have any webinars, any more webinars scheduled for December because we're kind of in the season. But we'll have a full slate of them coming up in January. So keep attention to your emails to see what's going to be happening in January and February. And we found that this is a really good way to connect with counselors around the state, and it's been of a lot of value to us. If you're not a NISCA member, this might be a great time to join. www.nisca.org. Click on membership, and you can do it really easily. If you are a NISCA member, thank you, and keep renewing. Any questions at the end of the day? I think we'll give you 3 minutes of your life back this evening.
I'm answering some chat questions. Somebody wants to know where I'm from. I am from Long Island. I live and work and was born and raised and enjoy my trips down to the beach.
Mm-hmm.
And Ray put in there, you always grow and learn from NISCA events. You do. Oh, no worries for anything else. All right. Oh, there's Ray. I see Ray.
Hi, Ray.
Hi. So I was driving home from work, so most of it I was just listening, but it's always so beneficial.
Good. I just think it's great to come together and know other people are living and working and swimming in the same water.
And Lisa, as you said earlier, attending not just these kind of events, but I get so uplifted whenever I attend any events with our colleagues, and it's just rejuvenating to hear that we're not out there alone, and you get ideas from others.
Ray, you're involved in the Nassau Counselors Association?
I'm involved in Nassau Counselors and Western Suffolk Counselors. Yeah, I'm more involved with Nassau because that's where my school is, but right. I keep a foot on both counties. Yeah,
that's awesome. Being involved, and just time is precious, but the rewards you get being part of a bigger communion of people really gives you strength. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Have a great evening and have a great holiday season.